Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. We got a coffee table right here. If you like this stuff, consider commenting, subscribing, and sharing. It really helps out the channel. My dad actually picked this up for 13 bucks on Goodwill and asked me if I wanted it, so he got it for me and brought it home. I did do some stripping before I started filming. I was trying to figure out if the top was just wood veneer and particle board or solid wood. Came out to be the wood veneer and particle board. Really wanted to get a solid wood top so I can restain it. I know I can stain the veneer, but it's just a little bit harder than the wood. So yeah, enjoy the video and I'll be talking through the steps. So after using the 15-minute stripper, I just put mineral spirits on the top. This is basically going to get rid of all that extra stain you see in there. Took me a few go-arounds, probably like 3 or 4 actually. The main thing was getting the stain off the rim. As you can see, it's the darker spots around the top. But I ended up getting most of it off, if not all of it off. But ended up painting this over so you can't really see any stain residue. Here's the process for that. So after getting as much as I could with the stripper and the mineral spirits, I put on some, I believe this is 350 grit sandpaper to basically get all the other, you can see the black marks there inside of the wood veneer. Trying to get as much of that off as I can, and then I believe I switched back to 120 to get it smoother. And let's check this process out. So right here I'll be using some plastic wood just to cover up a few holes in the top, and then I'll be waiting to sand it down and then prep it for paint. Alright, now it's time to remove the hardware just to make sure I don't get any paint on it. And then I will be spraying this thing with primer and getting it ready for the first coat of paint. I did notice some random glue spots on the coffee table down below and some other spots. So I just scraped that off and I did smooth that down with a sander. I believe it is the 350 grit again, so it's very smooth. But yeah, I did this on a few different parts of the piece. So as you can see, there are a few different water spots, as well as the edging is particle board, and when I sanded that, it kind of kicked up some of the particle board. So I'm using some Kills oil based. It's just a heavier primer. That's what I usually do to get rid of those stains, or at least hide them a lot better than the water based primer that I have. Since the Kills is a heavier primer, it always comes up to be coarse, so you pretty much need to always sand this down to create a smooth area. Once that was done, I brushed it off with a brush I had laying around just to get some of the dust off, and then I used a tack cloth, the yellow ones I have in my other videos, to get all the dust off to make sure the paint sticks. So what I'm doing here right now is I'm just prepping the primer. I need to put water and the primer mixed in together, and I got this cool little thing off Amazon that helps me mix it more, and you'll see later in the video I basically create a custom color from paint I had left over, and I wanted to make sure it was 100% mixed and it wasn't giving me different colors as I sprayed it, so you'll see that in the future. Alright, now let's get to priming the piece. So I ended up mixing a navy blue and white to create some kind of deep sky blue. I don't really know what to call it again. It's just a custom color. I barely had enough to finish the piece, but yeah, it turned out pretty cool. So check out the color that I came out with. So I'm just going to sand the first coat down. Always trying to mess with settings on my gun, not to get overspray on the pieces, but I always seem to do it. If I do it too much, there's overspray. If I do it too little, then I have to spray it like 5 times to get the type of coverage I want. So I just opt to sand off the first coat usually. And now it's time to get started on the second coat. So for the final 1 or 2 coats, I always brush it. It's basically so I can get the detail in and fix anything I need to fix, especially if I miss spray points. It's just a lot easier to cover areas that I can't get to with the spray gun. Alright, so time to put the hardware in and spray it with the polyurethane finish. And as you can see coming up, the table drops off of the paint gallons, and I did not have enough paint to fix the back right, so I had to mix a little bit more, and it turned out to be a darker color. Luckily it is in the right back and nothing else got damaged, but I was pretty upset about that, but hey, life goes on. So here are a few pictures of it. The inside of my house after it's done, I didn't have room to put it where I usually put it. I do have a few different furniture pieces over there, but it is finished. There's a few blemishes on there because I nicked it a few times. But at the end of the day, I thought it was a pretty cool color and a cool project, and I'm looking forward to the next one.